Hey guys, happy Monday here. Just actually finishing loading the duck boat, getting ready to go on another road trip here on the last little push of season for waterfowl. Just excited. You guys clicked on this video. We're going to watch some Camp Pendleton. Pretty special opportunity to go down there and big game hunt. If you missed it last year, Trent, Steve, and Strand went down and went duck hunting down there. Had a really spectacular time. They got invited back this year to go deer hunting. So that's what this video is all about. I just want to interrupt you real quick though. If you haven't seen our waterfowl content, it's because we're starting a new channel. That's right. It's called The Flyaway. It's by Born and Raised. And it's strictly kind of that waterfowl scene. It's something that we really enjoy. And so hit that subscribe button. We got a new video dropping on Wednesday. We want to see you over there on that channel. It means the world to us. And with that, happy Monday. Enjoy.
Dear Heavenly Father, this is some awesome country. We ask that you watch over us. We're going to drop down into some nasty stuff. We pray that, Lord, that you keep us safe. Thank you for giving us life. We ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Just save your breath, 'cause you know one time you dug a hole but never learned how to climb. Oh, you made the bed you lay in, and I'm here to say goodnight.
$4.69 a gallon. It's officially I think the highest gas price I've ever seen in my life.
Definitely legal.
So this just in.
It's looking like we may have lost a tote full of fairly expensive items. Our giveaways. So fingers crossed.
What is the chances of anything?
Well, it depends on how it landed.
I didn't see anything in the road.
Those totes aren't that tough. I can't imagine at 80 miles an hour it would just be exploded.
We'll see.
I think that's it.
It looks like it's it right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, dude.
No way.
Yeah,
I think
that's the tote.
it.
I'm almost positive
Yeah,
it is.
it's got the yellow top.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's okay.
No way.
Oh,
There's no way. There's no way that's okay.
You gotta be kidding.
Is that lid still on?
The lid's still on. It flipped upside down.
I feel like I'm playing real life Frog.
Looks like Frogger. There's no way
I
this.
see a bugle tube mouthpiece stick.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, it all stayed in there. What is
No way.
It all stayed in there, didn't
Oh,
it?
it's good.
Like, is it like okay?
It's good.
So that's all the giveaway stuff that we have for people. So I mean, there was BDX scopes in there, binoculars, all this sorts of stuff. I cannot believe it. Just
That should have exploded.
that should have just went everywhere. I would have thought. Someone's watching out for us today. I guarantee you that. Let's go.
first based on the enemy.
Gunner Sergeant Anthony Michael Rios. I'm a retired Marine. As I'm retired, you guys can call me Mike. It's good for me. I have my dog, my service dog right here, Bugsy. Likes to come out and hang out. Doesn't talk much, so it's really cool. And I get all the glory. I come out here because I know a lot of the guys from when I hunt and when I especially hunt close to home here on Camp Pendleton. And after I was my injury in 2010, I learned to hunt, learned to like stay in the area and figure out how to hunt, fish, and do all the things that I like to do locally. Being here and being at home, I'm able to show other people that I grew up with in Los Angeles, like, hey, this is a great opportunity to get out there. And a lot of them are. A lot of them have the same feeling that I did, just kind of secretly. We did something you don't talk about because nobody exposes you to it. But now that I'm around, you know, I'm getting people up there one at a time. Got my girlfriend to shoot her first duck about 2 weeks ago in Ohio. It was a lot of fun.
Let's put it like this, man. If someone were to say, I'm going to hand you this suitcase full of money, but you can never hunt Pendleton again, you're going to keep your money. Because the quality of deer that we have on Pendleton can't be found for hundreds of miles. You know what I mean? So the people, only active duty, retired, and special people can hunt it, right? And the Game Warden's office does a really great job of the management and, you know, the guzzlers and everything, that we have quality deer. I mean, you'll see deer come off Pendleton that people would think it came from Montana or Colorado. And you're like, no, that's a SoCal mule deer. They taste great.
That's awesome. That's wild.
Yeah, it's exactly what he's saying. It's just the deer quality in Pendleton beats anything in California.
Yeah.
I live on Camp Pendleton. I hunt Camp Pendleton. So I've been following them for like 2 years, and so has he. So.
Yeah, I started watching right before Land of the Free won. And I showed my dad, he's been elk hunting in Colorado since 2008. Got me into bow hunting and everything, and it's like been our life. So once I showed him, he was hooked and I was hooked, and it's been really cool seeing everyone here.
They're awesome. I'm from Colorado. I've been hunting archery since I was 12 in Colorado. Killed a couple cows, and I love it. I've been trying to get on a bull for the last 12 years, but they helped me out a lot. I've actually hunted for the first time by myself this year and using their tactic, just bugling 200 times a day. Finally got a raghorn to come in, which isn't legal in Colorado, but I just it was the first time that I've ever had a bull by myself come into me, so it was awesome, and I owe it all to them because my dad doesn't bugle; he just cow calls and walks, you know. So just the old mentality, and they hunt so much different than my dad, and I feel next year I'll be way more sturdy, and it's all thanks to all them, Trent, Trevor, like all those dudes talking. His podcast, Trent's podcast, is awesome stuff. Last year's my first year. Got together with a good group of dudes. My unit started a hunting club. Showed me the ropes, the laws, regulations on Camp Pendleton because it's so much different. And I got in on some deer. Didn't get a shot off, but I was there when they got into a lot of deer. So there's a lot of deer on Camp Pendleton. They're going to have a lot of fun this coming weekend, especially rifle hunting. It's going to be so nice. They got a really high success rate. I fly around in helicopters all day. I just watch them all day long. So I look for them. That's all I do. Look down. So yeah. We are the winners!
this morning, probably a little unusual, but it's pouring down rain, so which is cool for us. We're kind of used to it being from Oregon, but so this morning last year, if you'll remember on our videos when we did our duck series, I think it was the very last day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very last day, we went to First Sergeant's Hill, and it was super heavy, super emotional. It's like a big memorial. Well, today we're going to Memorial Garden.
The Memorial Garden.
Memorial Garden, and I don't know exactly what we have stuff planned for us, and there's going to be people there. We're going to meet back up with Major Patterson, and so I don't know what's in store for us, but this year we're starting it out as kind of a memorial to the fallen Marines that have actually lost their lives serving this awesome country. So going to be a real cool morning, and then we're going to go straight into some sniper training, dial our guns in and stuff like that. So today's just the start of the trip. We got 3 days left.
And tomorrow morning.
Then tomorrow morning?
Opening morning.
Opening day.
Guys, welcome back.
Oh man, it's good to see you guys.
Very good to meet you.
Gerald Hui, nice to meet you. Yeah. How are you? Gerald Hui.
Trent, nice to
Yeah,
meet you.
you
Nice
too.
to meet
How
you.
going?
Take your phone out.
Did y'all drive down?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hard way, man. LA's long. It's like a huge city.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So last time you guys were here, we were up top that mountain up
Exactly,
there.
yeah.
You guys remember
That's
them?
First Sergeant, right?
That's First Sergeant's Hill up there. You'll be able to see the crosses and stuff when we get into here. This is the official memorial garden, the 5th Marines Memorial Garden. So this is hollowed ground.
Yeah.
So a little bit more. Where are you going?
I'm going over here. I don't know. I'm always out of place. I can't.
A little bit more formal than up there. So last time up there, all the crosses you saw, the young Marines had brought those up on their own initiative, and they kind of like claimed that territory. Like, this is for my brothers, and this is what the Marine Corps has actually done for the same stuff. So you guys will see as you walk through here, memorials of all kinds. So like all the way back to Vietnam, and it'll really it'll hit you here probably, because when you see the amount of names that are up there, it's a lot. And so the sacrifices were pretty immense, but not to be the downer, on the happier side of the whole thing. This is where we do our promotion ceremonies. This is where we award Marines for good behavior. This is where we send Marines off who are on their retirement. You know, like they come here and like, hey, like after 20 plus years, it's my last day. They want to do it here. It's not a requirement to do it here, but this is a very iconic place, especially for 5th Marines. It's the most decorated regiment in the entire Marine Corps. So you guys are at a very special place, and near and dear to both our hearts and
I had my change of command for 5th Marines Headquarters Company right here.
How many Marines are in?
So, and you can see the dates too, right? So, this is what's crazy. These are the dates they passed away. So you look at the 18th of, I'm just picking a random date, the 18th of August. Like, those are the number of casualties just from this one unit on that day. And you look at these ranks too. PFC, 18-year-old, right? 18 and 19-year-old. Lance Corporal, 20-year-old. Corporal, 22, 24-year-old.
Is there like a order that anything's in? How does that?
Dates.
It's dates.
Just the dates.
Yeah, dates and units.
Dates and units.
And then the units that they were in.
Yeah. The 12th. You don't know what hhappened, but like the 12th of March, 18th of March.
It looks like the grouping of dates.
So something happened.
Something happened. No, I take so much time to get the history because that's what we learn.
You just see each one of these is a person that has a family. It's just like, and then both these walls front and back, and these are just the Marines. We're not talking about all the other servicemen and women that, man, crazy, just heavy stuff. It puts it in perspective, like what we're doing and what we're actually getting to do. It's just such an honor as far as just being here with these people. Amazing.
mean, this is the guy you want though. Like any battle, Noah boy, you want him to be by your side. The guy was not scared at all. He would just take the fight to the enemy. So we were all in quick reaction force.
Okay.
So any call the battalion needed help on, we get called on, and we just, hey, you guys need to draw some fire. We're like, okay, let's go.
Draw some fire.
I mean, because the enemies were setting up, positions and stuff, and we wanted to disrupt that.
Right.
So that's what we just kind of laughed. Yeah, those are some hardcore Marines.
Yeah.
Weren't scared of anything.
So like they bring token coins and challenge stuff in here, and then after a while it gets cleaned up, or what is that? How does that work? And then taken up?
It gets cleaned up, not when it's an appropriate time to clean it up.
Gotcha.
There's like, even up on First Sergeant's Hill, there's ribbon bars with what the Marines would have worn. That gets faded. The sun gets faded. We'll go up there and clean that stuff up. The coins will stay. The beer bottles stay.
Yeah.
This is like an important point that I think I made last time that I'll bring up again. Like, there's a Corona right there, right? Like, how many 19-year-olds are hanging out in the barracks here?
Yeah.
And it would be so easy on a Friday night to just come and
Type that thing.
Yeah, real easy, right?
Yeah.
But
It's no one
it's
touches
respect.
it. Nobody touches it. Yeah, and to even talk on the cleanup. So you're talking about knowing the sergeant major. So what the one thing sergeant major would do is bring the first sergeants together and do a PT, and they'll go up there and they'll have a specific cleaning day. It's all about servant leadership. So these first sergeants would come together and they'll find a day where like, okay, we'll clean it up. It's gotten to the point, and it'll be the leaders doing it to kind of give the younger guys an example.
Oh, wow.
So it's still continuing. Everything's about traditions with the Marine Corps, and we have to keep that spirit alive. So.
Yeah, and respect.
But you remember these last conversations, but they're heroes to the end. So Doc was walking through a mosque. So the enemy booby trapped the mosque, which mosques are religious areas. So you're not supposed to use it to offensive attack. But Doc walks. 5 guys walk in front of Doc, step over the IED, step over it, and Doc steps in there, and he was just the guy that stepped on it, dude. And then building collapses on him. And again, at this point, he's 22 years old, right? And that same explosion blew Steven back, and Steven falls back into this ditch. And he's just a big dude, right? And there's a bunch of guys around him. He rolls over onto a secondary IED, and his body, he was so big, his body shielded the other guys. So there was a Lance Corporal Reitman and Omer, and they both lost a leg in the same thing. But if it wasn't for Steven, to that last point of his life, still saving his brothers. And we memorialize them here, and I always point them out just because they're not a West Coast guy. Like we've been East Coast all the way with them, and it's such an honor for 5th Marines to put them on this wall because we were attached to it. But you got to tell the story because it's how we keep the legacy alive. It's what drives us on. And when I come here, and then coming here as a company commander was full circle, and I broke down in tears just seeing their names on this wall, seeing their crosses up there, and I'm like, man, from coast to coast, they didn't have to do it, but 5th Marines, family legacy stood up and they did it. So
Like their legacy lives on. Our legacy lives on here, being 5th Marines. The top dog of the Marine Corps, you can say.
It's all family.
Fighting
I think
right?
It's all just a family.
Yeah.
And it attributes to hunting. I mean, it's when you go out there with your boys, like you guys aren't blood brothers.
Right.
You are now.
Yeah.
I mean, after years of this, you are now blood brothers. Yeah. But it's through experiences, it's through being in the woods, it's through just going through the struggle with each other. And that's the same thing for us.
To answer your question too, is our most recent example was the withdrawal in Afghanistan. East Coast and a West Coast unit met up at the airport and got shit done.
2-1, yeah.
2-1, yeah. So yeah, I mean the rivalries exist. It's like we're biased, especially you and I, because like 5th Marines is like the first thing I told you, it's the most decorated regiment in the Marine Corps, right? Well, like I think there's probably a few other regiments that might say they are.
Right.
But the facts. There are facts.
Yeah, provable. Provable data.
2-1 just came back this week.
That's right.
We're
We'll be over there in that area for the guys who were just at the airport, getting people out. So we might get to run into a couple of those guys. It goes back to, like, you guys are here, we're going to focus heavily on sniper skills. Well, being on the receiving end of a sniper, right? Like, well, that's what killed, John Sparks. He was on October 8th, in 2010. Been like, as a platoon commander walking around Afghanistan, like, the worst feeling in the world is knowing you're being hunted by a sniper. So it's like, you guys will get a lot of that, and you'll see why today. I think you guys are kind of snipers anyway. I mean, you're experts at that craft.
But totally different.
A little different. A little different.
I think it'll.
Hopefully the deer knows that we're coming.
It sucks being on the receiving end of.
I can't imagine.
I'm just glad that.
There's got to be a level of fear there that's just like.
It'll mess with you psychologically.
Well, as far as like, knowing your job and knowing what you're looking for, and knowing how to hide, and we did have a couple snipers looking for our team when we were in Ramadi, but they just never knew where we were going to pop up, and we also did the same too, trying to look for them. We did a lot of counter sniper stuff.
Trust on your training, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, the training is where it happens here. You blood, sweat, and tears here, and not shed any of that when you're over there already, because training's over and it's real life.
Go to work.
Survival.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying last time, you train to the point where it's just.
Oh yeah.
Training, so many levels. Like training should be harder than the real thing. Yeah. Like we talk about heart rate training. Like, I want to train my guys to get them in like that red zone, is what we call it, like where their heart rate's super high and it's affecting their decisions here. Because over time, that red rate then turns into a yellow rate, and they're executing the task, but now their heart rate's a little lower. And then when you figure that out, you get them back to red. So then when you get into combat, our normal heart rate and our normal way of like making decisions fast is going to outcycle most people that are on the battlefield. And that's how I know snipers train that way. I know straight leg infantry guys train that way. That's how the Marine Corps just trains that way.
So we are headed to sniper training. What is this, Huey? As far as what are we going to be seeing here? Sniper qualification. So anyway, we get to kind of peek in on it and see what it looks like.
Oh yeah. Welcome to 117. Good to see you again.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Good to see you. Yeah, welcome to 117. We've got our Marines out here doing a qualification on the M110 SAS today, so they're down at the 700-yard line. If you guys want, we can start walking down range, and you can kind of see where these guys will spend about 8 out of 12 weeks learning how to be scout snipers.
Sweet.
So we can talk as we walk.
Let's do it.
On the left-hand side, you see we've got these cute little huts and some undulating terrain. Later on in the course, we set out arrays of steel at unknown distance, and then the studs have to mill out targets, range estimate, and then shoot unknown distance targets. These guys are only in week 2 right now, so we're still focusing on fundamentals. They're shooting an M110, a nice armament AR-10 basically, and we're keeping them in the prone. We're keeping them at known distance. We're just making sure they understand scope theory, ballistics, they can read and call wind, and do all of that. And gradually we will move them up to tripod supported sitting, kneeling, standing, shooting with kit, shooting movers, unknown distance, all that kind of stuff. Right now it's just fundamentals though. The weather is making it entertaining for you. a lot of these Cali guys have not had to do
I love it.
On the SAS, they'll come back here to the 800, and today they've been shooting known distance, movers, and stationary.
Okay.
They'll shoot movers out to the 6, and everything today's been in the prone for these guys, but most of them are sad because it's been cold, wet, and rainy on them all morning. So they've been out here since the sun's up. What we'll probably end up doing is taking the guys that struggled a little bit and then all of our remaining rounds for the day will just go into remediating yard lines that our students kind of struggled with. Historically, we see there's a drop off hitting movers at the 6, for example. At a certain point, it just gets hard.
Yeah.
And the margin for error gets a lot smaller. So we'll take a bit of time and kind of work with the guys that need a bit of help, and some of them will have to re-qual on Monday.
Okay.
And
how often do you have a qualifier of the 7 weeks?
So quite a few, and the big qualifiers are SAS qual, which happens between today, Monday, Tuesday. They'll do M40 qualifications, which will be both known distance and movers, and unknown distance. So there's really about 4 or 5 marksmanship events that they could get sent home for. And that's before we even get into stalking as well. They need to qualify on that. And then we'll run them through missions phase, where they're going to get graded on orders and patrolling. So a lot of things that you can get sent home for.
Imagine.
But, Cody, can you talk through a couple things for us? So the various weapon systems and the optic, like day and night. And then what does it take? What does a sniper mean? Why do we have them? What would be the typical employment of? And then how did we select these guys? Like, what have they already gone through to get to this spot?
Absolutely, sir. The Scout Sniper Platoon is going to have really 4 sniper systems currently. This will change in the next year, hopefully. But we have the M110 SAS, which is what you see on the line. It's really just a Knight's Armament AR-10. We also have the M40 sniper rifle. This has progressed from the Vietnam era A1s, which were deer rifles, really.
Yeah.
Now we have chassis, and we're on the A6 variant. Currently, our scopes are the Schmidt & Bender or a Premier SSDS. This is either a 3 to 12 or a 3 to 15 variable powered scope. We are currently using a 300 Win Mag, which is a little bit new to us. We got it 2018. The Mark 13. That comes with a Night Force scope, which is a little bit more powerful. We also have the SAS, or a Barrett 50 cal, the big semi-automatic rifle that everyone loves. Makes a lot of noise, but it lets us reach out and take out a car at at over a mile. So they will qualify here at the Scout Sniper basic course. Really, they will qualify on the SAS and the 40, and they will have some familiarization with the Mark 13 and the 50 cal. As they advance to other courses, they will have an opportunity to shoot the other guns a little bit more. Now, down the road, the Marine Corps is aligning us towards what's called the ASR, which is really a modular Barrett MRAD that can do barrel swaps, and it has some modularity, so we can say, hey, one platform, but multi-mission capable. I can swap this out and use a 300 Norma to reach out a little bit more, or I can stay trained with a 308 and not burn out my barrel quite so fast. So we have some other things coming down the road. Right now, those are the 4 that a Scout Sniper is required to use. For these guys to actually get here, they've all had to go through some sort of selection at the platoon level. So all the local infantry battalions have a sniper platoon. That platoon runs a screener and says, hey, if you think you've got what it takes, no balls. And then these guys come out. The platoon says, okay, we think that you might have what it takes, and they'll take 6 months, a year, maybe more, to train those guys to the point where the chief scout of that platoon says, yes, you're ready, go to school. That's when I'm receiving them. So they're not coming to me completely ignorant of the trade craft. They're basically trained by their platoon, and I'm here to see if they really do have everything it takes to meet all the standards that the Marine Corps says makes a Scout Sniper. We do have an opportunity to get some recon Marines every once in a while. Recon Sniper is a relatively new thing. So we still have recon Marines coming through our pipeline as well. In fact, one of our students right now is a recon Marine. So slightly different pipeline, but it's still selected before they even get here.
Tony, what rank are a lot of the students?
So our target population right now is Lance Corporals through Sergeants. And the MOS for Scout Sniper 0317 is not a primary MOS. So none of these guys will have an MOS change. We can't really say it's a lap move into the sniper field. And once you hit staff sergeant and beyond, you're really an 0369. So we're kind of targeting those young Marines that have 2 or 3 years to give to an infantry battalion, staying on the gun. They're not doing platoon sergeant things yet, but that's our target population.
What's the average age of these guys?
About 21. So okay. A lot of Lance Corporals and Corporals is kind of what we get typically. We're not terribly keen on grabbing an entry-level guy, a PFC or a private straight out of SOI simply because we already need them to have got some mastery over infantry stuff. We're not here to make an infantry Marine. We're here to take an infantry Marine that has some know-how and say, here's some additional skill sets that make you a force multiplier. So Lance Corporal to Sergeant is what we're looking at.
And then once they become a Scout Sniper, what does that look like as far as their career as a Marine? Yeah.
This is an ongoing struggle in that there is not duration, longevity in career progression for a Scout Sniper. Typically a Scout Sniper platoon will have kind of billet holders of team leaders and ATLs. These are typically your sergeants and corporals. But the platoon sergeant billet is not required to be Scout Sniper. No 369. So a lot of these guys really only have about 4 years. If they are fortunate, if they're fortunate, they might get that platoon sergeant billet later on. It's not guaranteed. Beyond that, there's no sniper billets outside of the schoolhouse. So in a perfect world, this guy will go through school, be a team leader, promote to staff sergeant, come back as a platoon sergeant, and if he's really lucky, get back to the schoolhouse. And part of that short recoil system on the Barrett is that muzzle brake needs to be there. Can't suppress that.
It's got to go somewhere. What's the attrition like? I mean, you bring in X amount knowing you're going to have... Yeah, exactly.
This changes between schoolhouses. We've got 3 schools running the Scout Sniper curriculum, us, Quantico, and then SOI East. The last course we were about 38% attrition, which is honestly a little bit low. We've seen this be at about 50% for some fiscal years.
Curriculum's the same whether you're at Stone Bay or here.
That's correct.
Everybody's.
That's correct. We are trying to make some changes and improve the curriculum. Quantico is kind of testing some new things. Changing how we teach. We can modify the sequence that we teach things, but we're all teaching the same course work, same information, same class.
Oh man,
it's not real world, but it's training them how to do route selection with their nose in the dirt.
All these like different things that you can put underneath your ponchos. Or like, I mean, we've tried everything to.
We teach that.
Yeah, minimize.
We teach that portion in our course, like hiding thermal signature.
It's hard.
That's got to be really
deception.
hard.
It is.
Deception's important.
And it's all rapid. Like this stuff. I mean, in the last 5 years, I'd say it's just we've had to correct our
developing
or adapt our TTP techniques.
Crazy.
Which is fun because now it's more challenging. Like, oh, what do I need to do? Figure that out. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. That's the fun part.
Whereas the old school style is kind of, you know, you still have to have those abilities. I mean,
Dinosaur
camouflage, all that stuff.
Yep. That's where I come from. Like Carlos Hathcock area. Like, you know, the mentality of the Vietnam sniper 2-man team. You're low crawling with minimal gear, kissing on yourself. Like, now it's like you're heavily, you know, equipped with pretty much everything from night vision stuff to thermal stuff to drones that you can use and trying to hide your signature in an urban environment, trying to find your enemy.
But not forgetting the Carlos Hathcock days, because at some point in the next big war, all that shit goes away.
Oh yeah.
When we kill, everybody kills everything that has a signal. Now you're stuck with fieldcraft.
Better know your old school.
You got to know your field. You
Low
got
tech
to map that
solutions,
That's
low tech
where
battlefield.
there's another individual, is another civilian contractor with me. He's been there for 14 years. I've been there for 10 years in that urban sniper course. We bring that whole Carlos, Hathcock era of like old school fieldcraft stuff. So we'll always keep it there, you know. He's like, oh, new guy, you know, iPad, you know, take that pacifier out. Let's take you out to
Have fun, guys.
The unfortunate reality is the idea of light infantry is not a thing with just how much gear we have to carry. We can find some cool ways of mitigating that with staging things.
Okay.
When it comes time to execute on the objective, we'll run minimal gear. But if we start talking about all the comm gear, all the camera gear, all the electronic suites, all of our sniper rifles, there's no way to make that light. We just make these guys strong.
Yeah. Sometimes you're going out for a day or two to support the unit, and guys are like I was 150 pounds, you know, operating, and my whole gear, when I stood on a scale, I was about 245, 250 pounds total.
And that's all to kind of simulate, like, for qual, you might only have to hit a man. But to get good at marksmanship, you need to be able to hit this. So the
like how would you evaluate and shoot that? Just like telling me.
The first easy answer is what are you feeling on the line before you even pull out a kestrel or anything like that, and we can kind of feel that it's fishtailing already from here. Right? There's obviously some weird terrain that's manipulating the wind, but I'm feeling it kind of shifting fishtailing. But at 300, is that really throwing off a 170 grain bullet that much? Probably not on a 6-inch plate. So my job, if this is assault sniper, get the round down range quick, is build the position and let my buddy worry about refining my wind call. I already have my dopes memorized because I spent the time looking at my data book the night before. So I can already get my elevation dialed, and my job as the shooter then is get in position, get set.
And he's evaluating wind.
Yep. And doing all that. And we can be having that conversation while we're working. But really it's, get ready to shoot and let my observer worry about the map.
Okay.
Lay down right behind it. You want to put the rifle deep into your shoulder or higher into your shoulder by using the shooting sock, so it's supporting the weight of the rifle in the back. For you, your elevation, was it reading on 0?
It's on 0.
Okay, so we're shooting at 300, so it's about 280. So we need to go about 1.2 mils high. So go to, so now there's not that much wind at all either. You can adjust your magnification. You're shooting at the target on the right.
Far right?
Yep, far right. Here. So they call it focus now, but it's a parallax adjustment. So you look down into it and you push it forward until the image becomes blurry, and then you come back to when it becomes clear. Yep. And then once the image becomes clear, when you bring it back, then you're set, you're ready to go. Engage your target. Once you're ready to
Headshots
go,
only, Steven.
Yeah, headshots. All headshots.
Only.
I'll call the first one. Headshots only. It's about a 6 to 7 inch circle. Whenever you're ready. Center on the head.
Yep.
He's going down. Once it comes back up, go and take a shot. Take it down.
Okay.
Whenever it's
Ooh, baby. I've got the flash. Brother.
I have control, I have control, I have control. Stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Execute. You got to shoot again.
Shoot again? Twice? No.
Yeah, you ain't fast enough.
A little bit extra time after Horno and 216, swing by the schoolhouse. We'll show you some nostalgia, some asbestos, some lead in our Kwanzaa hut.
Sweet.
And then you guys can see a ghillie suit as well.
That'd be cool.
Talega?
We're at SOI, sir.
SOI.
Yep. Okay. Right by the armory.
Okay.
Yeah. Open invitation.
Yeah, we'll see. We're just kind of out there at mercy. We're it's like fun for us.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Scotty.
More sensitive that way. Fired upon the whole time. That's crazy. Taking enemy parts.
So it wasn't sniper training versus just watching snipers actually and what they have to do to qualify and stuff, and they had some moving targets, but it was just so cool picking those guys' brain. We got to shoot a couple guns. That was fun. And now we get to go sight on our own guns. Now we're going to go grab something to eat, sight some guns in, do a briefing this afternoon, tomorrow morning. Oh yeah, go time.
lot of ways you can check your length of pull, but the main one they talk about is putting it inside your elbow and getting your, your rifle set up like this into your trigger. I have no neck, so sometimes I have to get the shorter one. Mine's a 13 and a quarter length of pull, but it's just wherever your trigger finger sits perfectly. There's other ways. Some guys do the whole thumbless thing, and then there's other guys that do the wrap. So you'll see a difference in length of pull adjustment. If you do the wrap around, it'll be longer. If you do the thumbless, it'll be shorter. Yeah. So just be wary of that. And once you're set, you're kind of, it's perfectly already almost set up for you. But now you get behind a gun. When you get behind a gun, checking your length of pull, and I'll cover fundamentals after this. But without looking through the scope or anything like that, you want to set up your rifle to where, kind of like laying your head on the pillow, right? We don't force our head to stay there on the pillow. We just literally relax. Put the rifle into your shoulder and get your chipmunk cheek set up. There's other ways you can just put your face there, but it has to be consistent. Or do your chipmunk cheek, chin on the top of the cheek well, bring it back down, and now you got a meaty portion, kind of like a pillow. That's why I say pillow on the, put your head on the pillow, like that. So now you have a pillow on the head. Now once you're set, if you're able to manipulate the bolt while you're in the prone position like this without bringing your elbow up like that, your length of pull is set. And also just testing your trigger finger where your shot placement is, because sometimes if your length of pull is too long, it's like you're reaching for it. You're reaching for your bolt, and now you got to lift this up and do all kinds of crazy stuff, breaking off from your position. So for a sniper in the military, the sniper has to stay in his position. We always say keep your face on the gun. So when you're manipulating that bolt here, you shoot, you're able to manipulate that bolt and re-engage while looking at your target and keeping your head on the gun. Okay, so that's what we're trying to have you guys do, and that's what we want hunters to do, is actually see their impact and see where the animal went. Okay, so again, length of pull, if you feel that it's too short and you're crunching your head, or you're this is too sharp like that, if it's too sharp like that, now you're gonna have problems with trigger manipulation and being comfortable in your position. So when you guys check your length of pull, make sure you're able to adjust. There's not that much bend on your wrist or anything like that, because that'll cause extra induced movement. So again, having a sniper doing precision shooting out at distance, that's the last thing that a guy needs to worry about, is like how tense or where's my angle at. So we work it here on the range, make sure the length of pull is correct, so that your shot counts downrange. And once your length of pull is set, we'll put the scope on without looking through the scope. We'll actually put like a little mark where your eyeball lays. So this is a new way that we do it. We used to do it to where like a guy gets behind his rifle without pushing forward or back, just stay there. You have, put this on a high setting, high magnified setting, and then we push the scope forward and back until there's no scope shadow. Oh. So if there's no scope shadow, and then now he's set, now we just tighten this down. But another way we found out is that you don't have to put the scope on there. You just draw a line where your eyeball comes down, draw a line there, then you put the scope on and you shine a light this way, and you'll have like a hard block here, and you're just adjusting it, and you're looking for the exit pupil. So once the exit pupil is smaller, that's where your magnification will be correct. You'll have no scope shadow. But if you still see that and you're forward of the line or behind the line, then you adjust the placement of the scope until it's right on the line and it gets that small portion of it. And it's gone a lot faster that way with our snipers. And they're like, okay, get behind the gun. You got any scope shadow? Like, nope, I'm good. All right. And then after we're done with eye relief, we'll cover diopter adjustment, which is for your eyeballs. And that's, I've seen a lot of people time and time again, even on hunting videos and stuff, where guys are like adjusting the parallax and they're also adjusting their diopter. And you're like, dude, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So the diopter adjustment. Exactly. So once that's set, you get clarity on the reticle, and then this would be like a focus knob or parallax adjustment for your scope. So we'll just set up your length of pull, make sure it's correct, so you're not shooting sideways. You want to be directly behind the rifle, so that when the recoil does come, it's coming directly in the center of your body. So you're absorbing the recoil, so the rifle comes true straight into your shoulder, so you have to actually see the impact of your
I've heard if your body have the right angle, that can actually pull the barrel.
It will, because if you're at an angle like this,
yeah. And a lot of guys shoot that way.
Yeah, they do. So that's because their scope's not set up right.
Right.
So that's where we begin right here. Your shoulder's perpendicular to the direction of the rifle. Put the rifle into your shoulder, head on a pillow, and then adjust for eye relief.
then it forces them to stay back here, because if they do this, now they're going to get scope bit.
Right.
Yeah. So those are little things that we cover. Actually, it's a big thing that we cover in sniper school, is because that's the last thing we want them to worry about. We want them to worry about what they actually see and making sure that round count's not mentioned. Individuals' performance is what we're looking at.
I mean, I love it. What I just sat there and listened to, you know how many people I've watched shoot?
Yeah, no.
Including me. For my whole life.
Left and rights, because you can see a gap underneath. When you put these sheaths in there, it moves together with.
Oh, okay, it's same. Gotcha.
Manipulation.
No.
Yeah, put it in high setting. Yeah.
No, you get with people that do it all the time, and professionals. Yeah, it's a good. You learn to notch it.
I'll never shoot it maxed
Here's the
out.
set.
Yes, I think so. I'd love you to look at it.
Pretty exciting. This is all stuff that I never knew exactly how to set it up. I mean, I knew it worked for me, but now if I want to set up a gun for a friend or my wife or kids or whoever, it's way easier to get, dialed in. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Next thing we're gonna do is make sure that your reticle is clear when you look through. So let me grab a piece of paper.
You were dialed in?
It's always good. I mean, it's.
Oh, what's going on here?
So go ahead and look through. Now, without trying to focus, you want to keep your eyes pointed down, keeping both eyes open, and look up real quick and look back down real quick. Should be up, down, like that. Is it clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then you're set. So one thing that we do is we actually purposely make it unfocused.
So
it forces them to make sure it's clear. For their eyeball.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
I gotcha.
Yeah, but if it's clear to you, then we can keep it there, or we can do what I just told you.
It felt good.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it feels good.
Okay. All right.
Knowledge is power. So I've heard a couple things. Just I would love to get your brain as far as, like, I've heard if you're prone, your most uninfluenced trigger pull, if you will, is with your thumb just resting on the. But if you're anywhere else, obviously you have to grip the rifle, or else it will fall out. Is that true? Not
That's
true?
That's true, because if you don't have a firm grip like you hold your can of beer, then you're not isolating that trigger movement.
Correct. But I mean,
my
just
hand
from
is
prone.
loose, exactly.
Just from prone, it's definitely okay to leave your thumb off the.
No. Because you want to keep everything consistent. So because you're going to move from any position, but if you're here and you got a nice firm grip, that shouldn't change even the position of your buttstock, the position of your cheek piece or your cheek weld, and the position of your hand. Okay. That shouldn't change. That should stay consistent all the time, because your body position will change, your shooting platform will change, but the rifle attached to your body and the way you hold on to it, that should not change at all. Exactly.
Gotcha.
You need to have muscle
Okay.
memory.
Okay.
For
That's
that
good.
one.
Okay.
Yeah. Really matter, because the numbers do match up. So 400 yards, and you're upping your wind speed by 1 mile per hour. So you're upping your wind speed at 1 mile an hour. I keep that number in hand. Let's say we find out that it's a 4 mile per hour gun. So at 100, 200, 3, 7, and 5. Okay, so per hour wind.
Yep.
But if it's coming in from these clock directions, that number becomes a 4 mile per hour.
I mean, I feel very lucky just to be alive today, but it's all those skills that I learned, like he was teaching earlier, from my young time being in a sniper platoon in the grunts to moving into force reconnaissance. All of that had beaten into me to work on autopilot while under heavy pressure. And that, by grace of God, is why I'm still here with you gentlemen today. But yes.
Thank you.
Fundamentals under pressure is something that's hard to...
Yeah.
It's easy to talk about, but when you actually do it, it's that's a whole nother ball game.
So if you guys remember last year, Gordon, you were with us all around, right?
I was around.
We always have game wardens around us for some reason. I don't know why, but so huge program that they do at Camp Pendleton, which is a lot of your success, right? I mean, as far as your game and everything, is your guzzlers.
Yeah, we actually have a program that started out a couple of years ago. We were about 20 guzzlers. That had been left over, everything from the ranching days up to some that we had installed.
Okay.
But that's grown. We now have 25, and we got a few more coming that we're going to install. So, I have this tank. I make my way around to all the guzzlers about twice a month during the heat and dry period.
So how many gallons are we talking at a time?
So I can haul in this little truck. I haul about 225 gallons.
And it lasts quite that long, huh?
Yeah, I get about 2 weeks out of a guzzler before I have to top it off.
Wow.
But it also depends on the guzzler. So we have some that hold only 150 gallons, where it'll be almost dry at the end of 2 weeks. but I know which ones those are, so I hit those a little more frequently. But the benefit to the wildlife is, we always focus on deer because it's a big recreational activity here.
Yeah.
But we have the mountain lions, the bobcats, and when I first started doing this, I was also surprised at the volume of birds like owls and hawks, and the variety of wildlife that uses these guzzlers is ridiculous.
So have you found that it like spreads the game out more too, and they're not condensed where actually just water is? Like, have you guys tested any of that, like seeing more game in different spots?
Not from a scientific approach,
but I mean just
from,
visual.
From my visual,
yeah.
My time in the field, I say yes.
You're seeing animals where you haven't before.
I'm seeing animals, right, that may have only transitioned through an area, that now I will see them showing up on the game cameras. You can tell they're in that area. And once they're established there, and then you put another guzzler a distance away,
sure.
Gradually you kind of I believe you start to disperse the deer herds and things out.
And different feed, and they don't have to walk as much. There's so much good to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of areas where there's plenty of browse, but it might be a long way to water.
Yeah.
And if you can put water in that area, then they'll call that home, and then you start to see the dispersal and hopefully even a growth in the population.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome. Huge. Yeah, it's a big benefit to Camp Pendleton and what all this encompasses as far as just maintaining your wildlife. I think that's a big thing. It's just certain states that you go to, I think, do better jobs than others from what I've seen, and it's amazing that you guys you're growing your wildlife every single day. It's awesome.
We go through some really long periods without rain. Like this year we're in a drought. Like this is the first rain we've really had for the year, and me and the chief warden were out about a week ago, and we went to a guzzler that I had visited within 2 weeks, bone dry. Like the deer are just hammering it when it gets dry.
So we researched on our way down here. We just looked up guzzlers on Camp Pendleton. It says on the thing that they get hit 100 times a day. Some of them 100 times. That just to fathom that's. To me, it's like drinking fountains don't get hit that much.
Right. Well, the thing with that number is that's not just deer, but they do.
Sure.
But when you start
wildlife,
you start to look at 100 or so per guzzler. Let's say between the birds and the bobcats and the coyotes and we got gray fox. They like.
Oh, really?
They like to get their picture taken. They show up on the game cameras
cool.
often. And you put that's like probably 1,500 animals a day getting water.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So
it's a rewarding program. It's fun to get them set up, get them, and then review the game camera footage and be like, hey, there, look at that.
It's working.
Yep.
That's cool.
Okay, so what we're doing right now, guys, is we've been shooting these guns with lead ammunition, but because we're in California, we have to use copper. So we're actually uploading a new profile, and then we'll sync it to our rangefinders, sync it to the scope. But it's all built into the app, so it's pretty slick. Trent's going to build it out right now, and then I'll literally just copy it.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting ready.
Target.
On scope, send it.
All right, I'm good.
Center.
Okay, I hope you hit low.
Yeah.
High left.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. So, I didn't know you had a Kona out here, but
Yeah, I mean, you can still shoot it.
yeah.
Let me get it for you. Yep, and adjust your parallax till you get a good clear view. Push it all the way until it gets blurry, and then bring it back to the clear.
I want to get a 5-shot group.
Yeah.
You hit the left
And then we'll
portion of the head, like 11 o'clock inside the head.
Give me one more.
Units, obviously it's in grains, so that's one thing you want to check. And then you back out, and then you press the little button.
Great.
Another series, and you press E.
Great group, dude.
That plate.
Okay.
Send one more. Yeah. All right, I just hit you with it.
Yep. Register 2.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're just looking for splash here, just to dial velocity.
Yeah.
I'm on target.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
You didn't even have to dial it out.
About a half a plate to the right.
There's a win. There's a win.
You're right.
Check here.
This whole thing. So it's like, yeah, sloppy.
Yeah.
Okay, open them. Where are you sitting at?
Left shoulder.
Left
Right,
shoulder.
let's
Okay,
go for
make
the.
Yeah.
So we can go all the way up. What does it go up to?
Yeah. I don't want to miss the trans gun.
I was trying to do math.
This thing's perfect.
I don't know where you were hitting for. You're right over the top of the. Right over the top of the bar.
Yeah.
Left corner.
Your parallax is way out.
Yeah.
The day started out like this, right? And then after a while.
Dude, ready.
Spot ready.
I was just up there with a fucking short sleeve shirt on.
You're solid at 4, you said, right?
Where's your jacket?
And then at
What's supposed to
650?
look like this?
Yeah, we are dialed. It was awesome to do some shooting. Copper is definitely different than lead, that is for sure. So we're just trying to deal with that and see what that does. I feel comfortable about it though. We feel pretty good. At the end, we made some good groups, and tomorrow's going to be a blast. Cannot wait to get out there. Feel confident, and all we got to do is find deer now.
Yeah,
there's deer there.
I know. There's deer there.
There's deer there.
We're talking, and we have a whole team behind us, so
it'll be good.
Yeah, the Marines have been very supportive.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah,
it's been awesome. So we are back at the hotel. We actually got off early this year. Last night was the pint night, so we stayed up kind of late. Tonight we're going to bed early because we got to get up at 3:30. 3:30.
It doesn't get daylight till 6:45.
The Marines like to start things
Very early.
and really be planned out before we ever go anywhere. So tomorrow we're super excited. All of us are just
gonna be a blast.
jacked, so we're gonna kill some deer.
Dude, today was amazing.
Today was so fun.
Today was so much fun.
It's just so humbling being here and just being like what our country does for us, and it just I don't. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, as civilians, being able to experience what we get to experience is just a huge honor to us. It's amazing.
I'd say like it's hard to pick like a favorite thing, but is there something that stuck out to you guys today? Because we did so much stuff.
What really stuck out to me today was learning what snipers really do. So many people think a sniper just gets in a gun and shoots, and there was not even close. There was so much more to that. That was just,
I'd say that's a small amount.
It's a very small amount.
Yeah.
So in being able to go talk to them and listen and hear all the training that they go through and actually what they do in the field was that was amazing to me, because I just didn't know that they did that much.
Yeah, when Gerald took us aside and just took his time out of the day to just go through some just stuff that he's learned. He was a Marine sniper back in the day, and so just to learn that stuff from him, and just the simple things as shooting positions. And we've done a lot of different stuff, and I've done some classes and everything, but I'm come from the school of take all the knowledge that you can get from anybody and then make your own kind of a way that you like to do things, but don't ever overlook someone and be like, oh yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. Always listen. And the guy had some great stuff.
Yeah, he had some great knowledge. I learned quite a bit today about shooting. Just little things that never knew the
best part of today. Yeah.
I think going around and hearing the stories from the Marines. I think the consensus is they watch the channel, and for some reason it changes everybody's life. I mean, I know the reason, but everybody we talked to was like, man, you did this for me, you did this for me, and crazy. Yeah, and everybody just has their different impacts, and all the Marines, I think they felt it. They appreciated you.
Tran, takeaway, best thing today.
Best thing today, starting off at the Memorial Garden with fam, and then just rolling from there. But just have so much respect for what all these people are up against, men and women that have been serving for our country, and all the hardships they go through, and being able to share these times with them has been super special. So can't wait to go deer hunting tomorrow. It's gonna be a blast.
Let's go deer hunting.
Awesome.
Yeah.